Happy hump day, everybody. Welcome back into another edition of Prime Sports World. This is our double dose of Prime Sports World for the day, as we just got done recording our fantasy football rankings show. But this show is quite a bit different. As you may or may not know, we normally only do our crossover episodes on Saturday, but yet the NBA continues to give us breaking news. The Suns owner, Robert Sarver, has been suspended by the NBA for 1 year and fined. So we're going to break down what this means for the Suns and what we actually think, what if the suspension was enough. So let's actually break it down. Let's get right into it. Also, if you're looking for consistent content on Facebook, Prime Sports was a good place to be. We go live basically every single day, bringing the most up-to-date content. I've also shared the StreamYard link into all of the places, including the Prime Sports World main Facebook page. So if you want to join us to talk a little bit about this conversation, more than welcome to do so. I'm at David Huppin. Right there is Mr. TJ Hopkins. How are you doing today, man? Happy Hump Day.
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. I'm a little bit tired. I've been up since 8:30, so let's get right into the conversation here. The owner of the Phoenix Suns has suspended for 1 year. He was also fined $10 million. The investigation found that during his time as the owner of the Phoenix Suns, Sarver used the N-word at least 5 times. They also found instances of inequitable conduct towards female employees, including sex-related comments and comments about appearance. This investigation started after an article published in November of 2021 by ESPN. Sarver has come out and said in a following statement after the suspension, while I disagree with some of the particulars of the NBA's report, I would like to apologize for my words and actions that offended our employees. Sarver is also the owner of the Phoenix Mercury, which is the WNBA team. LeBron James has weighed in and said he's pretty disappointed with the NBA's punishment of Robert Sarver. He said it was hold on. I love this league. I deeply respect our leadership, but this isn't right. There's no place for misogyny, sexism, and racism in any workplace. Don't matter if you own a team or play for the team. We hold our league up to an example of our values, and this ain't it. He also had some other comments when he talked about, he talked about how he didn't really agree with the NBA's portrayal of him. Let's talk about it. Adam Silver also said he doesn't have the right to take the team away from Robert Sarver in a comment today. DJ, let's just talk about this So what do we think about the suspension? What do we think it means for the Phoenix Suns? What do you think is going to happen here in the future with this particular owner and this particular franchise?
I think.
Do you think they got it right?
No, they didn't get it right, but that's where I was going. I think to answer that last question, the second to last question, I think what happens in the future is he's gonna have to sell. He's gonna have to sell the team. It's going to be hard for him to get people to come in and play for him outside of those who are already there. Like, now, if he does get people to play, it's because the other powers that be have convinced them to look beyond that, particularly in dealing with the fact that you may not have to interact with him all that much. Right, especially if you're a player, like you're probably going to have to deal with James Jones.
James Jones is the GM.
James Jones, Monty Williams, and the coaching staff. So you may not even have to come in direct contact with Robert Sarver all that much. But if there are those out there that maybe just find his actions that unforgivable to the point where they're like, I don't want anything to do with him until all the ties that he has to either one of his organizations or whatever else he's affiliated with, the Suns, the Mercury, or whatever else Robert Sarver has his name to, there are going to be people out there that are like, I don't want to deal with that in any way. I don't want to have to deal with him in any way, form of capacity if I don't have to. For Adam Silver to come out and say he doesn't have the power to strip him or take the team from him, it's kind of a it's a major setback when you think about the first instance of you dealing with a similar situation like this with Donald Sterling.
I mean, they for sure took his team away. he was for sure not going to sell it. Also, $10 million is a slap on the wrist for a guy who has the net worth of the guy that what his net worth is. There are some other things that he's not allowed. So during his suspension, he's not allowed to be president or any NBA or WNBA team facility. He can't attend any games. He can't represent the Suns or the Mercury in any public or private capacity. He can't have any involvement with the business or basketball operations of either team. And he can't be involved in any government or anything involved with either of the franchises. He has to go through training. He has to go through some re-education training, which is, such BS. Nobody ever takes that so seriously. And for one of the one of the reporters said that but I'm angry the league has failed us. This is all back to the ESPN article. Yeah, this isn't even close to enough. Like this guy has made basically a long history of people, taking advantage of his employees and not owning up to it. He didn't even really own up to it in this. Well, I disagree with some of the particulars of the NBA report. That's not a guy who's remorseful for his actions. It's a guy who's, oh man, I got caught. I'm gonna have to fork up $10 million.
Yeah, that's what it's like. Damn, I got caught. I can't. Whatever. But yeah, so it's just not. It's just not a good day for the NBA right now. And when you consider that the NBA is one of the leagues that's super progressive.
Yeah, it's for sure the most progressive association we have,
and especially with handling situations like that. Again, it's a major setback when you consider the only time you had an instance like this was Donald Sterling, and you not only did you take his team, you banned him. Donald Sterling, for as long as he lives, can no longer have any contact or anything to do with any NBA organization ever again. That's the precedent you set.
Unfortunately, I think the big difference is that action was recorded on tape. As Robert Sarver, his net worth is $800 million. He's actually probably the least wealthy NBA owner of any team in the NBA, which is why he's the cheapest owner in the NBA. Anyways, not that any of that matters. Donald Sterling had recordings and of him using inappropriate language, which is why the backlash was so much more severe and so much more instantly. If there were videos of Robert Sarver using the N-word in recordings of it, he would be gone. There's no way they'd be able to keep his team.
Yeah, but I don't think. That helps, but I don't think it should take video evidence for it.
Oh, I agree with you.
Because Earl Watson says because Earl Watson used to coach the team back when they were terrible. Earl Watson said he came out and said that he said the N-word. He was the one that said he said the N-word because he's particularly talking about Draymond Green. Not that Draymond Green, not that he called Draymond Green the N-word. He was saying Draymond Green gets to go on the court, shout N-word this, N-word that. Why can't I? Basically, it was one of those if they say it, why can't I say it type situations? Because you can't say it. All right, that's I've known David. I don't know how long. David has never in his life used that word in front of me or even asked to use the word.
Yeah,
right? It's just one of those things where it's I get it. The history behind it is ugly. But we as a culture, we've adapted it and completely changed the meaning. But if you come at us saying the word, you know what's gonna happen. So
it doesn't end well.
It doesn't end exactly. So he's had misogynistic stuff happen prior to the early to mid 2000s. This is I said, this is 17 years worth of stuff, and as David always says, where there's smoke, there's fire, because everybody's saying these things about him. Everybody can't be lying, right? It's just, that's what it is. I don't know. Eventually, I don't know how long it's gonna take, but eventually he's gonna have to sell that team because nobody's gonna be wanted to be affiliated with him in any way, shape, or form. I think the big deal is next year, when the suspension's over and he's able to come back in the facility and he's able to be around the players.
He's the owner of the franchise. Suspending him for 1 year doesn't make it doesn't make sense as a punishment. He signs all the checks, whether you don't have to do that for a year. Come on, it doesn't make any sense to suspend the owner for a year.
We saw how the Clippers. The players responded to Donald Sterling when that stuff came out. They turned their warm-up stuff inside out to the point so Clippers was not shown. And then they take that stuff off. They walk to the middle of the court and they throw that stuff in the middle of the court. We are out. We are done with Donald Sterling. So and Chris Paul was a part of that.
Yeah.
So the following year when he's back in the building, right? Chris Paul's the former president of the Players Association. I would like to see how Chris Paul handles this situation next year because right now you can't really do much. I mean, you could, but I don't think it's going to have the same impact because he's not there. You get what I'm saying? So, like next year when he's there, he's in the building, he's able to be around the players, he's able to be around all the people that in that organization. So, like, I want to see what happens when he's able to see it up close and personal that they don't want anything to do with you. So like that's what I like. That's what I want to see. I want to see next year. I want to see what happens next year.
I mean, he may see the writing on the walls and decide to sell the team and be like, you know what, I realize that I'm probably not wanted here. I'm gonna leave with a little bit of my pride, I'm not gonna force them to take the team away from me. I'm not gonna get banned from the league for life. I'm gonna sell the team and end this admirably because it's pretty obvious that. Adam Silver kind of. I would say he walked a very political line here. He talked about Robert Sarver and him spoke a lot, and they allowed the investigation to unfold. He said that Sarver took complete accountability and seemed fully remorseful. He said every day is a new day. It's not as if we closed the books. We've closed the book on this historic incident. But anything going forward, I don't think there's any question that he'd be scrutinized in terms of his behavior and speech. Adam Silver usually takes a pretty hard line with this stuff, and he usually has a pretty good grasp of like where people stand. Yeah. So maybe Sarver can respond. I'm just doing a lot of reading on these articles that are on ESPN.com right now, and he just people are going to compare that situation to the Donald Sterling situation,
and that's what you don't want in this situation. Because, like you said, like again, the precedent has been set, right? Yeah. And Adam Silver said, like that was your first major move as the commissioner, right? Like that was your first roadblock incident. That was your first serious situation, right? It wasn't a malice in the palace. It wasn't players gambling on games. It wasn't refs betting on games. Like all the stuff. David Stern had to deal with, right? Your first incident was a historically racist owner in Donald Sterling, right? Who had years of racist practices against him because this was a real estate tycoon who wouldn't rent to black people in the LA area. He wouldn't do it, right? So all that stuff got brought to light. And yeah, you handled that in the right way. So now, to your point, like you walked the fine line, right? You almost tried to play both sides. Like you didn't want to upset everybody else, but you also didn't want to upset the players. But I think when you try to walk that line, you end up hurting somebody.
Right? Yeah, because obviously certain players are not going to be happy with this. Certain fans are not going to be happy with this. But there are the other side of this. Like when you look at he's. I don't know. I think it's hard. It's looking at it from the outside looking in. If Adam Silver didn't think it reached to the level of a Donald Sterling, maybe we should give him a little bit of a benefit of the doubt here. Adam Silver seems like a good judge of character. And I'm not saying he should get a pass. I mean, he's obviously going to get suspended for the year. And Izzy made a good point. Most of the people that were involved in this organization when this was going on are no longer part of.
Are no longer there. Yeah,
are no longer there. So things have already started to change there in Phoenix in a positive light. I mean, Chris Paul wouldn't have wanted to get traded there a couple years ago if he thought that this stuff was going on.
That's true.
Still. That's true. And I mean, James Jones has done a good job building this franchise. I do think there is some concern there that like future players will not want to play there, that might be what eventually forces him to sell the team. Like if he can't draw free agents, not that he cares anyways, because he would never spend money on this team anyways. But like they're outside of his basketball stuff, right? There isn't really, and outside of him using the N-word a few times here and there isn't really this blatant racist rhetoric around this owner that existed that Donald Sterling existed in.
Right.
Like, so
I'm right. Again, we're not saying what you call it. We're not saying that like he has racist tendencies. Like again, like the whole Draymond Green thing, right? He's like Draymond gets to walk up and down the court, shout N-word this, N-word that. Why can't I say it? Then that's when he said it, and Earl Watson was like, "Yo, you can't say that." And he's like, "Well, why not?" No, you can't say that. Like I don't get what's not to understand about that, but it is what it is. Like again, I'm just looking forward to how the following year is handled. Like
Yeah, I
that's
think it'll be interesting to see what happens next year.
right.
So when he's released from his suspension, let's see how his contact, because if he becomes and he changes his act, I mean he deserves to keep his team because. But we'll see what ends up happening. We're going to switch away from the owner of the Phoenix Suns getting suspended. One of my favorite segments we do here, the crossover, which we haven't been able to do in the last couple weeks because we're doing our NBA season preview segment, which will return on Saturday, where we're going to be doing the Southeast, which concludes the Miami Heat and the Charlotte Hornets. It is GOAT Talk. TJ, I will real quick. This is like a conversation. We're going to compare two NBA players. We're not going to say who the two NBA players is. It's going to be up to me to try to guess those players and then compare them head to head and their careers head to head and to pick a winner when it comes to the GOAT Talk. TJ, who do you got for me
today? So player one was a small forward. Played first round pick in 2002, first round 10th overall.
2002, okay.
Went to UConn. Played for the Heat, the Lakers, the Wizards, the Mavs, the Clippers, the Bucks, OKC, Detroit, and Sacramento. He played from 2002 to 2016. You get all the teams?
Yeah, I know who this is. Ray Allen, yeah?
It's not Ray Allen.
It's not?
No.
All right, give me the teams again. UConn.
He went to UConn. That was
Right.
Heat, Lakers. Ray Allen never played for the Lakers.
It's true, yeah. Wizards. He didn't play for the Wizards either.
Or the Mavericks. Or the Clippers.
I just said UConn in the mid 2000s. I got just. All right. So wait, Heat, Lakers, Wizards, Bucks, Clippers, Mavericks,
Thunder, Pistons, Kings.
Thunder. Damn, Pistons, Kings. Drafted from UConn in 2002 with the 10th overall pick. Who did he get drafted by?
He got drafted by the Heat.
Heat.
He's
okay.
He's a one-time champ. He won a chip in 2011 with the Mavericks, so he was on that Mavericks team. Two-time All-Star in 2007, 2008. All-NBA rookie team in 2003. Big East Player of the Year in 2002. First team All-Big East 2002. 12,430 points. That was good for 14 points a game. 4,387 career rebounds. That was 5 rebounds a game. 2,007 assists, which is good for 2.3 a game. He was also a part of the gold medal team, the under 21 team in Saitama.
All right. So one-time champion. He's in 2011. It's not Jason the Jet Terry. He didn't go to UConn.
It is not Jet Terry. No, Jet Terry did not go to UConn.
He also didn't play on half these teams. So 2002, 10th pick in 2002.
And he's currently a Miami Heat assistant coach.
Is it Juwan Howard? No, he doesn't. No, he's host of the.
He's at Michigan now, so no, it's not Juwan Howard.
Is he? I don't know who Tough Juice is. This is not helping me. All right. So he just stole it. It's Caron Butler. I never would have gotten that. I for real never would have gotten that.
Damn it, Izzy. Come on, man.
I never would have gotten that, man. I never would have gotten it. That answer would never have came out of my mouth.
Yeah, player one is Caron Butler.
All right, player two.
Player two. All right. Player two. He was a Sparty. He went to Michigan State. Was drafted 5th overall in 1991. 1991. All right.
Okay.
He was also drafted by the Miami Heat. Right. Played from 91 to 2005. So that's a long career. 91 to 2005. So teams: Miami, Atlanta, Portland, San Antonio, New Orleans, Bobcats, and then he finished with the Heat. So he went back to Miami. He did like the ceremonial last year. This is, you know, dance with the team that brought you there, right? Also a one-time champ in 2003,
With the
one time,
Spurs.
one All-Star, one All-NBA rookie team. He got a bunch of off-the-court awards like Sportsmanship Award, J. Walter Kennedy Citizenship Award, third team All-American when he was in college, two-time first team All Big Ten. So you got to think about this when it comes to college basketball, like Big East, Big Ten, ACC.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's the who's who of college basketball. And his number is retired by Michigan State.
All right, so Izzy also spoiled this one a little bit for you, but yeah, it's Steve Smith. I got that kind of when you said he drafted by the Miami Heat, so I had that one, Miami Heat. Also, when you mentioned he won a Super Bowl or a champion NBA championship, obviously, so it's San Antonio Spurs in 2003. He was also involved in a very weird trade between the Heat and the Hawks. Um, but yeah, so let me hit the rest of his stats.
So the rest of his numbers are so he played 13,430 career points. That's good for 14 a game. 3,060 rebounds. That was 3.2 a game, and 2,922 assists a game. That's 3.1 a game. He has one, two, three, four gold medals. He was on the 2000 Sydney team, 1994 World Cup team in Toronto, 99 at San Juan, and where's this at? He also went to Germany in '89.
All right, so now I got to pick between these two players. So Steve Smith putting up his career against Karan Butler. Um, so they both had that longevity that you look for in an NBA player, but I think Steve Smith's ceiling was a little bit higher than Karan Butler's was, and so I'll go Steve Smith. But this one's pretty close. Um, he's got the ring that. Oh yeah, they both have the ring.
They both got
Yeah,
them.
I will still go Steve Smith. I think he was a better player in his prime, especially in those Hawk years when he was Atlanta Hawk. Man, he was really good
Yeah, he was really good.
for the Atlanta Hawks.
So, and I'm like his best year in Atlanta, I would have to say it is probably his 96, 97 year. He averaged 20 a game. He averaged 4.2 assists a game, 3.3 rebounds. He shot 85% from the free throw line, 34% from three, 43% from the field. He played 39 minutes a game. And he played 72 games that season. Karan Butler, on the other hand, his best season is with Washington, 2008, 2009. That was his career high. He averaged 21 a game, six rebounds and four assists. He shot 86 from the free throw line, 31 from the three, 45 from the field. He played 38 minutes a game. Like it's just
God damn. He played all but 10 minutes a game, everything. Like, yeah. But yeah, I'm going to go Steve Smith. I just think his ceiling was a little bit higher than, like, his best was better than Karan Butler's best. Since their stats are pretty close and they both have that ring, and Steve Smith won 4 gold medals. So I'm going to go Steve Smith with this one.
4 gold medals.
Yeah.
Izzy, since you want to participate, who you going with? I know you watching.
Yeah. Izzy, who do you got? Steve Smith or Karan Butler? If Goat Talk, head to head, whose career would you rather have? Who's the better player all time?
And you got to think about like Steve Smith, Steve Smith was a hell of a commentator. I don't know if he's still calling games or not, but more people know Steve Smith from like his days working on like NBA, like NBA Network and like I think he called games for TNT. Like he was a part of the.
He was for a while, but I don't really know what he seemed to be falling out of the mix there a little bit. As you said, Steve Smith all day. I agree. I agree with that. Who are you taking? Who are you taking? I know this is your Goat Talk. What do you got?
I don't know. Like I saw more Karan Butler than I did Steve Smith. I think like we all did, but given what the numbers show, like you got to go with Steve Smith in this one. Like he was a part of that broadcast group. I think it was like him and Steve Kerr, and like flip flop between Marv Albert and Kevin Harlan. So like, yeah, like when Steve Kerr was on his broadcasting day.
Yeah, hell yeah. But yeah, this has been the crossover. We did a special episode for the breaking news happening in the NBA. Tomorrow, we are going to be talking about our Prime Sports World Games of the Week, where all of our panelists here at Prime Sports World each picked a game, and it's the best game that we think will be of the week. So you don't want to miss that content. That goes live at 8:00 p.m. Eastern Time, right before the kickoff for Thursday Night Football. I've been David Huppin. Right there is Mr. TJ Hopkins. And TJ, what do we do here at the Prime, my friend?
We bring the heat.
Yes, sir. And it's supposed to surge with the heat here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. So I wouldn't mind if it was like stayed in the 70s or 60s all year round, but we don't get what we want. It's going to be the 80s tomorrow. We'll be back here tomorrow, bringing you some more NBA, more NFL content. Also, the crossover comes back on Saturday, breaking down the Southeast Division. You guys all have a good day, and we will see you all later. Peace out.
See you, man.